you should be able to record now.
The 12th of December, Rabbi Furst, Pierke, Avos.
Very good. Okay. Good morning again. This is Rabbi Shlomo Furst here. You see someone actually here in care of Zoom. We're going to continue on with the Derech Chaim, the Maharal Miprag's commentary on Pierke Avos in the 6th parak. And we're discussing now the Beis Hamikdash, and there's a question that the Maharal is dealing with based on something he said before. And so I think in order to get everything straight and clear, let's begin again from paragraph 14, if you don't mind. Yeah, any volunteers to read?
I do. Let's see. Vayomer Achar Kach Beis Hamikdash Kinyan Echad. And it says afterwards, the Beis Hamikdash is a unique acquisition. Ki ein safek ki Beis Hamikdash hu echad ve'ein od mikadesh ba'olam rak mikadesh mikdash echad. Because there is no doubt, since the Beis Hamikdash is unique, and there's no other sanctuary in the world except the unique sanctuary, Yesh L'Yisrael, that there is for Israel.
Right. The Beis Hamikdash is exclusively because of the offerings that are made there, and it was also specifically for the Klal Yisrael.
In Naasru Habamos Miyad Nivna Beis Hamikdash Lefichach Hamikdash Hu Echad. It's forbidden to have an altar immediately built. The Beis Hamikdash, built after the Beis Hamikdash. Therefore, the Beis Hamikdash is unique. Lefichach gam Beis Hamikdash roi sheyikra kinino shel Hakadosh Baruch Hu. And therefore, also the Beis Hamikdash is appropriately referred to as the acquisition of Hashem. Umevi raya min Hakadosh min mikadesh Hashem konunu yadecha. And we can bring a proof from the sanctuary of Hashem, which is established by your hand.
I mean, the Brisa brought the raya. This pasuk was brought by the Brisa itself.
And the Brisa brings a raya. Okay. The haraya hazos ki yoter nechshav Beis Hamikdash min hashamayim va'aretz kida isa b'perech kama, because and this raya is more considered greater. It considers the base of Migdash to be greater than the heaven and the earth.
Okay, so the Raya Azos ki Yoshe Nikshav Beis Hamikdash min Shamayim va'aretz. Okay, what this exactly means? This Raya is more significant. Nikshav is more significant. Yoshe Nikshav is more significant, right? The Beis Hamikdash, meaning this, the fact of this proof is that the Beis Hamikdash is more significant than Shamayim va'aretz, than the heavens and the earth.
Isa beperech kama, that as it is in the first perech of Kesuvos, Darash bar Kapra, it was expounded by Bar Kapra. Gedolim Maaseh Tzadikim Maaseh Shamayim Va'aretz. The deeds of the righteous are greater than the deeds of the heaven and the earth. De'elu Shamayim Va'aretz Nivra'u biyad echad, at the Shemayim and the arts, the heavens and the earth were created with one hand. Dichsiv af yadei yisada eretz v'yamini tifcha Shemayim. That it is written that the hand of the foundation of the earth is the foundation of the earth was formed by the right hand, and it was spanned by the left hand, and the span of the heavens by the left hand. Wait a second, I lost my place. Yemini is the right hand. Tipcha is the spanning of the heavens, and they were, and these actions of the righteous are, as it is written, the sanctification of Hashem is established by your hand. Tarte mashma kid Isa Hasam.
Right, Tarti, it's mash. We can infer that it's referring to the usage of two hands, right? Tarti mashma, two, it's can be inferred. It can be inferred too, meaning Kanayor Yedeka, meaning Yedeka, that's expression of a reference to two hands. So when the verse uses a descriptive, symbolic expression of yadecha, that's inferring that two hands were used, meaning there's a greater involvement, there's greater concentration, there's greater focus. Now, again, all those things don't really relate at all to Kadosh Baruch Hu. Those things, those things we only talk about when we talk about people. Those things don't refer to Kadosh Baruch Hu at all. We're only using these expressions to relate to us that the significance of the Beis Hamikdash was much more focused than other things. Meaning, since the verse depicts in the symbolic expressions of the usage of two hands, that's much more significant than something which is depicted by the usage of the expressions relating to one hand. As we'll see, that'll be the contrast between the Beis Hamikdash and the Shemayim Va'aretz.
Ume'acher shenikra kinyan shemayim va'aretz k'di la'el mikdash shehu karov el Hashem yisbarach od yoter mikol shekain shehu yoter nikra kinyan l'Hashem. So afterwards, it refers to the acquisition of the heaven and the earth, like it is mentioned above.
Now, okay, so now when we spoke, when the Maharal was describing the Shemayim Va'aretz, he went to great efforts to explain that the Shemayim Va'aretz are really one thing. That's what he's going to say now. It's like a circle, right, and the center, right? You have a circle and the center. They're two different things. The circle, the circumference is different than the center, but you can't have one without the other. And when you make a circle, you make the center as well, right? They come simultaneously, right? So therefore, they're considered to be made uniquely, and they're one thing, not one thing dependent on the other. They are one complete thing, right? But the difficulty that the Maharal is going to now approach is the expressions which are used in terms of referencing to the Shemayim Va'aretz don't bear that out 100%. So you're going to have to make sure you understand the question here, and then we'll go into how the Maharal is going to give an answer.
Is it appropriate here, or maybe after after the shiur, that I ask that I'm not happy with the idea of a hand. It bothers me a lot because of our associations with hand. I just wonder if there's another expressions like force or entity or some, I don't know, another concept other than the anthropological use of the word hand. Why the word hand bothers me, I don't know. It's too earthly, I think, far too earthly for me.
Right.
Doesn't leave any room for religion.
What do you mean? What do you mean it doesn't leave any room for religion?
Oh, the hand is used for all sorts of things, and I mean, it's associated with all sorts of things, like pulling a trigger of a gun, writing something, putting a spoon to your mouth with food, and digging and all sorts of things. Everything you do with your hand. It's I mean, what religious thing do you do with your hand? You put on tefillin, I suppose, but you wave lulav, but there's not that much compared with what you do with your hand, and it's sort of it's not to me it's not suitable or appropriate to associate with uh, with Hashem.
Yeah. Okay, so
Similarly, yeah.
that's a general question and a general approach, meaning the way that the verses will many times describe the interaction of a Kadosh Baruch Hu with his world, with this world, this physical world, will be for our benefit put into physical, concrete illustrations, right?
Yeah, I know.
But
I know that.
remember, they're only illustrations. They're not meant to convey anything in terms of the actuality of what was being indicated over here.
Mm. Yeah, I know. But nonetheless, anyway, that's my feelings, I think, on that matter and similar things. All right, that's it. That's it.
Okay. No, I mean, I understand. I understand your point of view, and it's a point of view which is expressed in many different forums in mainstream Torah Judaism, and their explanations. Their explanations. But again, in spite of the fact that we have to limit ourselves to using these symbolic explanations, there are things which were being taught through the use of them, which we wouldn't be able to learn otherwise. The Sefer Chavos Levavos explains it in the following way. He has a whole almost a chapter on this point, and he explains in the following way. Let's say you have a cow, right? Elsie the cow, right? So if you tell Elsie, look, it's time for you to come into the barn and to milk, right? So what type of a reaction do you think you're going to get from the cow? What?
The cow's gonna say, no.
So the cow's going to probably look at you and wonder what you're talking about, right? Right?
Not gonna want to go in the barn.
But I mean, it's very explicit. It's very explicit what you want, and you're telling the cow very explicitly what you want, right? The
Right?
cow's not built. Cow's brain is not built to understand what you're saying, right? So you either give it a whack on the back, or you lead it to where it's got to go, right? And then the cow gets the picture where it's going, right? Or maybe there's some signal, you click, or maybe you give a shout, and the cow knows with that shout, with that click, it's time to head for the barn, right? Feeding time, milking time, whatever. So the Chavos Levavos says the same way. If we try to use any more specific descriptions, we wouldn't understand. We wouldn't understand. Like it's beyond us to even first of all, descriptions are impossible because there's really it's all non-physical, and all descriptions are based on physical comparisons.
mm,
Secondly, if we would try to get the abstract truths of what it is into more concrete terminologies and symbolisms, we would be like we're talking to a cow about going to milk in the barn. It wouldn't register.
mm.
So
Yeah, I know it doesn't make me happy, but yes, I know. Maybe I'm also bemoaning our limitations.
no, that's valid. It's valid to bemoan our human frailty and our lack of true true knowledge. That's valid.
Yes.
That's valid.
The trouble is, I know that in my particular case, I'm not sort of liable to anything more than I've got already. So any more understanding than I've got already. So that's that. Anyway, so I mean, all right, I have to accept it. That's the going price. You can't go against that.
Yeah, what can I say? Look, um, it could be. I mean, even when we even at the let's say when they we say the end of Kol Haaretz Dea, like the whole world
Of
will be
what?
filled with knowledge. There's a pasuk in I'm not sure here. Kol Haaretz Dea, the whole earth will be filled with knowledge, right? The true knowledge of acknowledgement of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. As great and as close we could hope to try and come to Kadosh Baruch Hu, we can't approach the essence of a Kadosh Baruch Hu, which is far beyond us. It's a
Mm,
whole. It's not we're not capable of dealing with it.
mm,
That's what the pasuk says. Moshe Rabbeinu sought at one point to see. He asked if he could see a Kadosh Baruch Hu. When Hashem said a person who's alive cannot see, he can't see it. A Kadosh Baruch Hu. It's not possible to see a Kadosh Baruch Hu when a person's alive, and even when a person's not in this world. The question is, how much is he actually going to be able to perceive? Right.
mm,
So that's, as you said, that's the selling price. What can I do? So, okay. So now that we have a pasuk that's referring to Shemayim va'aretz, and Shemayim va'aretz, even though the are two things, this is the Maharal already went into detail. The Shemayim va'aretz are really seemingly two different things. He said no, they're really one thing together. It's like as he uses the descriptive analogy of a circle and its center, right? The circle by definition has a center, right? So the Shemayim by definition has the arts. The arts by definition has to have the Shemayim. Oh. Oh, but when we come to describe the Shemayim va'aretz, we're using a an expression which is dealing with the usage of two hands, which is contradictory what we're saying over here now. That's what we'll see now. Let's see, where did we leave off? Right. Okay. So I guess we're up to paragraph 15 now. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyone would like to continue?
Yeah.
Chapter paragraph 15, Luke. Paragraph 15.
And go to 15. Okay. V'od yesh lecha lehavin haraya שהביא ממה שכתוב מקדש Hashem konenu yadecha. And furthermore, there is for you to understand the proof that we brought from what that is written. The sanctuary of Hashem is the establishment of his hands. Ki b'zeh atzmo ma shenivra beis hamikdash b'shtei yadayim. And let's see, ki b'zeh, since with this itself, that which is created, that which he created the Beis Hamikdash with two hands, Mora ki Hamikdash hu echad. It indicates that the Mikdash is unique. Ki nikra habayis, hadvar shehu echad kasher ein od echad acher imo. Since the sanctuary is unique, when Nikra, it's called something that is unique, that there is nothing else.
There's nothing else along with it. There's not anything else along with it. So that's been the constant definition according to the Maharal. Something is unique if there's nothing along else with it, right? It stands alone. There's nothing going along with it. So we're gonna see in a few moments, another few lines. That's going to be a problem when you're coming to talk about the Shemayim v'Aretz, because apparently you have the Shemayim, apparently you have the Aretz, right? So it seems that there's something else along with it. But the Maharal is going to explain that as we already touched on a few points on this point, but he's going to repeat it again. He's going to strengthen the question.
Okay, he's going to strengthen the question. Ve'elu Nivra Beis Hamikdash Biad Achas Haya Efshar Lecha Lomar Ki Beis Hamikdash Shehu Chelek Bilvad Nivra Biad Achas.
So that this is bearing out the point a bit, right? That if it would have been that the verse describing the building of the Beis Hamikdash was describing it as being used by one hand, fashioned by one hand, Haya Evshar Lachayomer, you could have said, you could erroneously say that the Beis Hamikdash is a chelik bilvad, nivra b'yad achas. It's simply a component, being that it was, in fact, it was in fact built by was described through the use of one hand. If it was described as being fashioned by the use of one hand, right? Then you could have erroneously thought that the Beis Hamikdash would be a component and it shares its uniqueness with something else, which would be a contradiction to it being unique. Unique, it has to be exclusive, right? And if it's shared with something else, it loses its exclusivity. Oh. So therefore, if it would be that it was the Beis Hamikdash fashioned with one hand, right, that would have led us to the erroneous conclusion that the Beis Hamikdash was simply a component of a larger system, but it's not. It's something which is completely independent in and of itself. But based on this, we can have the question from the Shemayim Va'aretz, because there's going to be a pasuk that indicates the Shemayim was made fashioned with one hand, and the Aretz was fashioned with another hand, and yet you see that Shemayim Va'aretz are one thing together. Okay, let's continue on.
Okay, ודבר אחר שהוא גם כן עמו נברא ביד החרס כמו שהוא אצל שמיים וארץ שנבראו שמיים ביד ימינו והארץ ביד שמאלו דכתיב אף ידי יסדה ארץ וימני טיפחה שמיים. And another thing that is also the case with it,
with davar acher shu gam kein imoy nivra biyad acheres, meaning if you're going to be, if the description was right that the mikdash was being fashioned with one hand, that would therefore allow us to erroneously believe and understand that another thing was being fashioned in the other hand. Kamo shu etzel shemayim va'aretz, as we see by the description of the shemayim va'aretz.
The Shemayim va'aretz biyad smola dichsiv af yedei yisadeh eretz vayamini tifcha shemayim. That it says that the firmament was created with one hand.
That we see that the Shemayim va'aretz nivra Shemayim biyad yamini. You see that the Shemayim is described as being fashioned by the right hand, va'aretz biyad smoloi, and the earth was described as being fashioned by the left hand. Iksiv, it says as it says in this pasuk, Af yidei yisada eretz iminai tapach al mosad. So you see, that's going to be problematic, right? That's going to be problematic because he's bringing a proof that when one thing is being described as being fashioned with one hand, that means the other hand can be busy fashioning something else. So therefore, they're two different things, right? And we see that the mikdash is not that way, because the mikdash was described as being fashioned with the use of both hands. And while both hands are fashioning the base of mikdash, so to speak, they could not be busy fashioning anything else. So that gives credence to the statement that the base of mikdash is supremely unique. Okay, let's continue.
Aval Beis Hamikdash Shenivra Bitrei Yadayim Mora She'ein Od Devar Imo. But the Beis Hamikdash, that it was created with two hands, indicates that it is not anything else that is with it. Behu echad, and it is unique. Shaharei,
Right, so go ahead.
Shaharei nivra bishtei yadayim. For we see that it was built with two hands.
Right. So therefore, when the description of the base of Mikdash's creation is described with it as being created with two hands, that shows its complete uniqueness and exclusivity, since there's nothing else that could have been created simultaneously. That shows its absolute uniqueness. Okay. Now brings us to paragraph 16.
Ukavar kis ba'er ki kol davar shehu echad hu nikra kenino shel hakadosh baruch hu mipnei shehu tachas reshus bal hakinyan legamrei. And already we have explained, since what is it?
Something about the cleaning person or something.
Oh, excuse me a second. I have to talk to Yosef. Sorry about that.
Can you pick up water?
Yes.
So again, at the beginning here of paragraph 16, Kavar Nizbar, it's already been explained to us by the Maral. Ki kol davar shu echad, anything which is unique, nikri kinyano shel Kadosh Baruch Hu, it's considered to be a possession of the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Why? Mineshu hakas rishus bal kinyan legamri, because it's completely under the control of the one who owns it completely. Lefikach mevi pasuk mikdash Hashem kanunu yadecha. That's why it's considered to be, as the pasuk says, that it's Mikdash Hashem kananu yedecha, that the Mikdash Hashem is been founded, right, by your hands. and that's plural, indicating two hands. Right? That shows its exclusivity. V'hu raya brura gemura lemisha mevin devarim elu, and this is a clear proof to the one who understands these things. So okay, so is that clear a bit? Do we have that somewhat clear? Okay, if we have that clear, we can continue on. Okay. Shane Suffolk Bam. And these things, there's no doubt about these things. This is really clear and very well known to all those who understand it. Now, so if a person doesn't understand it, so we'll clarify it if we can. Oh. Withorizeh baranu hamekdama etzel netzer matai masai yadai, inspire. And this point was explained already in the preface of the Maharal to his Sefer here in his commentary to Pierke Avos. And Etzel, the phrase that's brought down over there at the beginning of Pierke Avos, he quotes this pasuk. Okay. Now, this now we're coming to a point which is a bit of a difficult point, because based on what we said before, we said that the pasuk indicates that the Shemayim va'aretz were created, one, so to speak, with the right hand, one, so to speak, with the left hand, correct? So that, based on what we're saying, would indicate that they're two different things, right? So we have to clarify why the Shemayim va'aretz are really considered to be one thing, even though they were apparently described as being created by two separate hands. Okay. Let's see. Mayor, would you like to continue on?
Let's see. Vigam Shemayim va'aretz.
Right. That's right. Thank you.
Vigam Shemayim va'aretz shechol echad nivra biyad echad. Okay, so also that what the heaven and earth that shechol echad was created by one with one hand.
Yeah, but when we had the Shemayim va'aretz shekol echad nivra biyad echad, that each one, the Shemayim, but with one hand, and the aretz with one hand, meaning when the verse depicts the creation, the formation of the Shemayim, the heavens, and the aretz, the earth, it depicts it in a way that each one was described as being created by one individual hand, each one having its own hand, which is difficult based on what we just got through saying. Now, what does that mean? Im lo.
Okay, im lo shehem mitchavrim biyachad liot davar echad lo haya sham kinyan aleihem kemo shehitba'er lemala. Okay, so im lo. So if not, they were mechavrim, combined together to be one thing. Lo hayash.
Right, mechabrim joined biyachad together. The yichos davar echad.
Oh, okay, to be one thing. Lo hayash kinyan. So it wasn't there a.
No, here I think it's not sham, it's a shame. Lo hayashem kinyan aleihim. It wouldn't be the phrase kinyan upon them. You wouldn't be able to appropriately use the phrase kinyan on them.
Oh, Moshe Hitbar Elamala is explained above. Okay. Shahashamayim v'haaretz heim domeh kamo ha'igol v'ha'nikuda b'tocho. Okay, I think we mentioned this before. That the heaven and earth, they are similar to a circle and a point within it, a dot, I guess, a point, nikuda. Ulefikach heim davar echad, and therefore they are one. Ki
Right.
shnei, yeah, ki shnehem
Right, go ahead.
biyachad, yeah, because both of them are together. Nivro b'shtei yadayim kamo shebe'anu lama'ala. Because both of them are together, they were created. What the
Right,
two
since they-
hands?
since-
Okay,
right.
yeah,
Even though that the description of the Shemayim and the Aretz was that the Shemayim was described as being created by the right hand, and the Aretz, the earth, was described as being created by the left hand. Nevertheless, we shouldn't mistakenly think they're now considered to be two different things. They're really one particular unique thing together that's being created by two particular hands, similar to as he explains the circle and the center, meaning when you make the center, you will complete it by making the circle. If you make the circle, you complete it by making the center.
uh-huh.
That may not be that may be misconstrued to think that meaning that they're two things, but no, really, rather they're supposed to be understood to be it's one thing together, and therefore it's not a difficulty that the description of one thing being created together with two hands, that will be appropriate. Okay, good. So that with that he answers the question, and let's. I think we've come to a good time to stop, and we're now at paragraph number 17.
Okay, very good. Yesh koyach.
Okay, very good. Fine. Thank you, Mayor and Roy. Have a good afternoon. Hope to see you tomorrow, and we'll continue shortly with the Shir and the Mishnah Brewer.
Thank you.
Be well, Roy.
You too. Bye for now.
Thank you.
See you, Lou. Bye-bye, Rabbi Furst. Be right
Okay.
with you.
Sorry about that. I had to help Yosef with something.
Okay, no problem. We're taking a break now. We'll start Mr. Bruce shortly.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.